Alright guys, so we're going to start off by taking a right hand side parting, but if your guest parts on the left hand side, then just do it on the left hand side. Then we take from mid crown in the back down to behind the ear. That's really just to part that off. And then I take along the parietal ridge to create that rectangular shape. Now you'll notice that I left out the entire right hand side of the part, and I just sectioned off that rectangle on the left hand side, which is our heavy side of the haircut. Now I'm working down center back, creating my guideline for my traveling guide that I'm creating. So everything's being over directed back to the previous section throughout the entire back side of this haircut. So you'll notice my finger angle is shifting a little bit more towards the head shape, but really I'm just following the head shape with my fingers. So even though it appears that I'm taking the hair tighter to the head, at this point I am not. I'm just following the head shape down. So working palm to palm. Traveling guide, you can see that even though I'm in the round of the head right now, I'm not over directing the hair backwards. I'm just following that head shape. Working with a traveling guide is the hardest thing that you can do in haircutting because it's so hard to stay consistent throughout the haircut. So just make sure that you're really following that guide, that you see the guide, and that you're not taking too much hair at once so that you can stay consistent with your haircut. I had a question a couple weeks back about how do you know that you're over directing it to where you need to over direct it to. So my answer to that would be make sure that when you bring that hair back and you see your guideline, that you see a nice solid line. If that line looks diffused at all or looks like it has rough edges, that means that you've grabbed too much hair in your guideline and you're over directing your guide. Your guide should look very, very solid. So just make sure, a key factor with that, don't just look for that darkness coming through your section and cut. Make sure that it's a solid line that you're seeing through the hair. Now we're going to work scissor over comb, making sure that steady blade stays with the bone of my comb. And I'm just using that comb to lift and go through the hair. I'm using the wider teeth. This is my YS Park 339 comb. I'm also using my Mizutani scissor. It's a 6-inch scissor. I'm in love with every Mizutani scissor that I own. I have about 12 of them, so every single one of them is great. So definitely check them out on Free Salon Education if you're looking for new scissors. Now I'm working through, I like using a 6-inch scissor at minimum for scissor over comb because I can just get more hair in my hand at a time. And then, so now that I've done that scissor over comb detail, I wet the hair again, and now I'm going through and cutting the opposite side, the right hand side. And to be completely honest with you guys, this haircut I did all weekend long, so I actually re-wet and cut this side on a completely different day. So I was trying to get this video done for you guys over the weekend, and it was just taking multiple days. So that's another good thing about staying consistent and making sure you're working with true guidelines, because you could leave a haircut for an entire day and come back to it and it's still going to be where it needs to be, I guess. So, all right.